Kimmy, do you want to just drop off the lesson? You know? Don't awe me.
It's just so keen,
Really? Right. Yeah. That's what you say. Right. What are you doing, Leon? Right. Shh. So, shh. Excuse me. Right. So, same as yesterday. So we just got to this point. So all you got to worry about is shh. Excuse me, Kimmy. Shooting my dinosaur. Eccles finished it for him. A Tyrannosaurus Rex, the tyrant lizard, the most incredible monster in history. Sign this release. Anything happens to you, we're not responsible. Those dinosaurs are hungry. Eccles flushed angrily. Trying to scare me. Frankly, yes. We don't want anyone going who'll panic at the first shot. 6 safari leaders were killed last year and a dozen hunters. We're here to give you the severest thrill a real hunter ever asked for. Travelling you back 60 million years to bag the biggest game in all of time. Your personal check's still there. Tear it up. Mr. Eccles looked at the check. His fingers twitched. Good luck, said the man behind the desk. Mr. Travis, he's all yours. They moved silently across the room, taking their guns with them, towards the machine, towards the silver metal in the roaring light. First a day and then a night, and then a day and then a night, and then it was day, night, day, a week, a month, a year, a decade, AD 2055, AD 2019, 1999, 1957, gone. The machine roared. They put on their oxygen helmets and tested the intercoms. Eccles swayed on the padded seat, his face pale, his jaw stiff. He felt trembling in his arms, and he looked down and found his hands tight on the new rifle. There were 4 other men in the machine. Travis, the safari leader, his assistant, L'Esperance, and 2 other hunters, Billings and Kramer. They sat looking at each other, and the years blazed around them. Can these guns get a dinosaur cold? Eccles felt his mouth saying. If you hit them right, said Travis on the helmet radio. Some dinosaurs have 2 brains, one in the head, another far down the spinal column. We stay away from those. That's stretching luck. Put your first 2 shots into the eyes if you can, blind them, and go back into the brain. The machine howled. Time was a film run backwards. Suns fled and 10 million moons fled after them. Think, said Eccles, every hunter that ever lived would envy us today. This makes Africa seem like Illinois. The machine slowed. Its scream fell to a murmur. The machine stopped. The sun stopped in the sky. The fog that had enveloped the machine blew away, and they were in an old time, a very old time indeed. 3 hunters and 2 safari heads with their blue metal guns across their knees. Christ isn't born yet, said Travis. Moses has not gone to the mountain to talk with God. The pyramids are still on the earth, waiting to be cut out and put up. Remember that. Alexander, Caesar, Napoleon, Kimmy.
Oh my God, Kimmy.
Hitler.
You're as bad as Hitler.
None of them exists. The men nodded.
I mean history.
Oh, well, it's not a good thing to be Hitler.
That, Mr. Travis pointed, is the jungle of 60 million 2055 years before President Keith. He indicated a metal path that struck off into green wilderness over streaming swamp among giant ferns and palms. And that, he said, is the path laid by Time Safari for your use. It floats 6 inches above the earth, doesn't touch so much as one grass blade, flower or tree. It's an anti-gravity metal. Its purpose to keep you from touching this world of the past in any way. Stay on the path, don't go off it. I repeat, don't go off, for any reason. If you fall off, there's a penalty. And don't shoot any animal we don't okay. Why? Asked Eccles. They sat in the ancient wilderness. Far birds' cries blew in a wind, and the smell of tar and old sea salt, moist grasses and flowers the colour of blood. We don't want to change the future. We don't belong here in the past. The government doesn't like us here. We have to pay big graft to keep our franchise. A time machine is finicky. Is that the right one? Yeah. It's a finicky business. Not knowing it, we might kill an important animal, a small bird, a roach, a flower, even, thus destroying an important link in a growing species. That's not clear, said Eccles. All right, Travis continued. Say we accidentally kill one mouse here. That means all the future families of this one in particular mouse are destroyed, right? Right. And all the families of the families of the families of that one mouse, with a stamp of your foot, you annihilate first one, then a dozen, then 1,000, 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000 possible mice. So they're dead, said Eccles. So what? So what? Travis snorted quietly. Well, what about the foxes that'll need those mice to survive? For want of 10 mice, a fox dies. For want of 10 foxes, a lion starves. For want of a lion, all manner of insects, vultures, infinite billions of life forms are thrown into chaos and destruction. Eventually, it all boils down to this. 59 million years later, a caveman, one of a dozen in the entire world, goes hunting wild boar or saber-toothed tiger for food. But you, friend, have stepped on all the tigers in that region by stepping on one single mouse. So the caveman starves. And the caveman, please note, is not just any expendable man, no. He is an entire future nation. From his loins would have sprung 10 sons, from their loins 100 sons, and thus onwards to civilization. Destroy this one man and you destroy a race, a people, an entire history of life. It is comparable to slaying some of Adam's grandchildren. The stomp of your foot on one mouse could start an earthquake, the effects of which could shake our earth and destinies down through time to their very foundations. With the death of that one caveman, 1 billion others yet unborn are throttled in the womb. Perhaps Rome never rises on its 7 hills. Perhaps Europe is forever a dark forest, and only Asia waxes healthy and teeming. Step on a mouse, and you crush the pyramids. Step on a mouse, and you leave your print like a Grand Canyon across eternity. Queen Elizabeth might never be born. Washington might not cross the Delaware. There might never be a United States at all. So be careful. Stay on the path. Never step off. I see, said Eccles. Then it wouldn't pay for us even to touch the grass. Correct. Crushing certain plants could add up infinitesimally. A little error here would multiply in 60 million years, all out of proportion. Of course, maybe our theory is wrong. Maybe time can't be changed by us. Or maybe it can be changed only in little subtle ways. A dead mouse here makes an insect imbalance there, a population disproportion later, a bad harvest further on, a depression, mass starvation, and finally a change in social temperament in far-flung countries. Something much more subtle like that, perhaps only a soft breath, a whisper, a hair pollen on the air, such a slight change that unless you looked close you wouldn't see it. Who knows? Who really can say he knows? We don't know. We're guessing. But until we do know for certain whether our messing around in time can make a big roar or a little rustle in history, we're being careful. That section that I just read to you, because of the level of detail that's contained within that, because of the amount of time that Travis takes to explain the situation to Eccles, do you think, is that a significant factor in this story or not?
No.
What do you think, George?
back to that, they are going to change time. Yeah,
Yeah. Why do you think that?
because they wouldn't have gone into such detail about such a small little thing.
And of course, the thing isn't it? It's not a small thing, isn't it? It's that idea about you think you're just killing one thing, and it's about that chain, and that level of detail that Travis gives there. That explains that butterfly effect. It's that idea, I think you call it. If you kill a butterfly, what does that matter? It's just one single butterfly, but it's all those things that are interconnected, and it goes on, and you don't know what it's going to do. Yeah, what impact it's going to have. What else was I going to say to you? I can't remember now what I was going to say to you. Right, now, what I'd like to do, as you did yesterday, you will see in that section, there are little prompt questions, all to do with interpretation. Now, obviously, I don't need you to circle the animal that Eccles is hunting. That's quite obvious. But again, do the rereading of the lines 54 to 58. What do these details suggest about Time Safari Inc.? Circle the words in line 76 to 77. That means that Eccles is speaking. Then underline the sentence in the lines 103, 107 that tells you the purpose of the path. Why do you think the term is capitalized? Okay. And again, carry on, obviously, all the way through over those sort of, I think it's 4 pages we've just been through there. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and if you can just write it in the notes section. That's where to do it. Okay. It's 20 past now. If I give you to what? 25 to? Yeah. Then we'll begin to feedback. 25 to 4. Yeah, I'll give you to work silently there. Okay. That's 15 minutes. That's plenty. Kimmy, you're still on the call. Why? Is that you, Leon, or is it Christian?
Christian is what the voice of an angel. Nice.
So are you.
So take this week.
So what do they mean by, why do you think the term is capitalised?
Why is the term path? Why does it have a capital P?
Trademark. It's a name.
Ha 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 ha.
It could be. Oh, we know.
Because it's a title. Is it a name?
No, it's something more than that.
Because it's important.
That's your pen.
That is his pen, yeah.
It's not my pen. It's a table. You run. Aggressively. Doesn't sound helpful. Sounds like nothing like cups of juice.
Okay, let's begin to see what you're coming up with. So, Kimmy said, looking back again at lines 54, 58, where my arrow's pointing to, it says, what do these details that we learn, what do they suggest about Time Safari Incorporated?
They will take you back to whenever you want and shoot the sheep whenever you want.
Sorry, say that again?
They'll take you back to whenever you want.
Right.
They'll take you back to anything because of like saying on shoot.
Okay, yeah, we've got that. They'll take you back to any time you want. Yeah, Lottie?
But they're not really responsible for anything that happens.
Yeah, okay, good. Matthew, do you have your hand raised or?
Even the smallest things you do has the biggest effect.
Where's that in?
I'm looking at it section.
Yeah, I think you are, yeah. What about, we're here to give you the severest thrill a real hunter ever asked for. What does that suggest about the company? It's even in italics, isn't it? A real hunter. Who do they want on this trip? Real hunters. They don't want folk who are going to be, because you're going to be a hunting Tyrannosaurus Rex
If
here.
you make a mistake, then it all goes wrong.
But we are here to give you the severest thrill. What are they only interested in?
Money.
Well, no, because they tell you to turn to your checkup if you're not the right person. So it's not money driven. We're here to give you the severest thrill. What are they interested in?
Entertainment.
Isn't it? It's entertainment, and it's that biggest adrenaline rush of their life, isn't it? It's all about the thrill. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Nothing else. I mean, you imagine you going back. Imagine you could go back in time to prehistoric age. You imagine what you could learn. Imagine the amazing sights you could see, and all they're offering is to take you back so that you can kill something. It's not exactly. Again, it makes you then begin to question, doesn't it? Obviously, in the future here, we're meant to be more what in comparison to prehistoric times?
Civilized.
Civilized, but here is civilized man in whatever century, 21st, 22nd, 23rd century in this story, isn't it? All he wants to do is go back and kill something from a prehistoric age. Begs the question, have we become civilized at all over all those millennia? Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's that idea to go back. We only got one thing they want to do, and it is that idea about killing the dinosaur. Being able to go back, traveling you back 60 million years to bag the biggest game in all of our time. Yeah. Does this sound like a kind of responsible company? Sort of moral-wise, it appears pretty irresponsible. Okay. Then the next question down. Words that highlighted, it says circle the words in line 76, 77 that mean Eccles said, and what does this phrase reveal about Eccles? Yeah. So what did you think was being revealed there, Leon, in lines 76, 77?
He's just interested if he can kill a dinosaur by himself.
Yeah, isn't it? You know, and can these guns get a dinosaur cold? You know, kill it stone dead just with one shot. That's all he's really interested in, isn't it, Kimmy? What is it he's interested in?
Killing
What?
dinosaur.
With what?
Gun.
Pay attention. Yes? Thank you. Yeah. Okay, what does it reveal about Eccles' nature?
Wholehearted person.
Sorry?
Wholehearted person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
He's not in control because his mouth's doing
Yeah, again, interesting. He said that he felt his mouth saying, yeah. Matthew, what was it you said?
Aggressive.
Yeah, yeah. But that's a good point to pick up on too there, George, as well. It's that idea that, yeah, he's not, it's almost like, you know, the words come out before he can sort of stop himself. He's not aware of what he's doing. Yeah, good. Moving on. Now, why do we think that the path has a capital P? Christian. Oh, I'll come to you in a minute. Keep it, sorry. Yeah. Christian, why do you think it's got a capital P, the path? Okay. Kiva?
Because they make things like they're kind of mocking pyramids. Like, because they think it has like a significant meaning to it.
Well, if we think about a path, what does a path do?
Shows you a way to.
A way to something from somewhere to somewhere. Lottie, if you were to think of a path in religious terms, what would that be about?
A path to hopefully like heaven or the afterlife or just
Right, good.
God.
And so then we begin to think of paths like that. Are they just literal paths or are they symbolic paths? And they are symbolic of what?
Life.
Of
Life.
life, exactly. Good. And that's what we're getting here. Oops. And so we're thinking about, you know, it's been capitalized here to show some sort of form of significance, some importance here. When you go back 60 million years to prehistoric times, you've got to be shown a route to get yourself through. So it is quite straightforwardly that one. But then we've got it here. You know, we've got this sort of gravitational path that is going on here. So it's just hovering above. So it's about that idea that you do not interact with the environment that you now find yourself back in. Otherwise, it's going to be trouble. Yeah. Right, Tom. Lines 111 to 113, it says there, it's full of imagery. And what senses do these images appeal to? And so you got the ancient wilderness, far birds' cries, blue in a wind, and the smell of tar and old salt sea, moist grasses, flowers, colour of blood. What senses are being appealed to? So if you've got smell, so that's one sense, yeah? Any other ones? So what sense is that? Sight. So we've got smell, we've got sight, and what else? Yeah, we've got the birds, haven't we? We've got the birds. Why use those three senses? Using those senses, Leon, what does it do? Sight, sound, smell. It is, but also if you use it in imagery, so you've got the sounds of the birds, you've got the smell of tar, sea salt, and you've got strong, vivid colours. What's that doing for you as a reader?
It's making it easier for you to picture it.
Yeah, so it's all about creating sort of sensory image here, helps to create the image because you've got to try and visualize this prehistoric landscape in your mind. You've got to be so that it becomes sort of a sense of reality to it, so that you can go with the tale here. Yep. Okay. Good. Then the last few that we've got here. We've got that now. Right, now, Christian. Yeah, just because I can. I just like to pick on you every so often. So you get a big one here. It's a long, that line 730 to 55. Travis explains the possible effects of stepping on a path. Each effect in turn becomes the cause of another event. What is the final effect that Travis mentions?
USA, not being.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I beg your pardon. What did you say there, Christian?
I didn't count the amount of lines correctly.
Why not?
Well, I didn't even get onto that page for that question.
Didn't you?
Oh,
You slow Sammy Snail person, you. Yeah.
So he's not alone, I didn't reach it.
Didn't you? Oh, what kept you from getting to there? I mean, honestly, I just wondered.
I just didn't know what line it was. I thought it was only going to be on that page, so I repeatedly read that page, and then I just wrote down butterfly effect.
Well, it does say, doesn't it? That's why it's there. That they have got little cues. It tells you which lines to go to.
I didn't see that. I can only follow.
Do you know why you didn't see that? You haven't got your glasses.
Leave on that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it.
That's not an excuse. That's a reason.
Specs. Licensing's got balls on.
And so that long, yeah, but that long section there is everything is about everything interacting with each other. And again, it shows you it goes from that very small thing. So it goes from like a mouse to eventually a whole continent, a whole chunk of the globe does not come into existence, all because of that one seemingly insignificant impact. Yeah. You think, but it's a really good kind of plot device. But I mean, again, it is that idea, isn't it? Because everything has that sort of cause and effect in life. And we always, look where we are now. Just think about sort of the environment now, and we've got sort of species that have died out, all that sort of stuff. We've got endangered species, all those sorts of things. And think of the ones that have actually disappeared. Yes, well done, Christian. Yes, that was one of the first to go, hunted into extinction.
That's why I said it, because it was hunted to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, isn't it? I mean, even the big game now, they're getting quite, isn't it? Is it leopards or lions that are getting quite small in number now? Yeah, just because they've been hunted to forever.
Seagulls are protected.
Seagulls are protected.
They're so useless.
They're protected species.
Who protects them?
We do. God, the warriors of seagull.
They're not helpful in any way. They're not helpful in any way.
Really? Okay. Right. So the final one get asked here, and yet once again we have our line reference. It says, "What does Travis mean when he says he's not sure whether messing around in time can make a big roar or a little rustle in history. Natalie, what do you think to that one? It is that one about, it's the final one that we've got here, right at the end, and it's, what do you think's been meant here when Travis, the tour guide, he said he's not sure whether messing about around in time can make a big roar or a little rustle in history. What is that driving at?
Even though he's not sure how big of an impact changing history can have in the future, he still strongly believes that it's important because regardless of whether it might just make like a small change, the fact is there's a possibility that it could make a big change. So it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, so good. It's that idea about, you know, yeah, managing those sort of risk here. And it's, although that they've got this kind of theory all played out, isn't it, to say, we know that there will be an impact if this happens. We just don't know how it will play out, whether it'll be something hugely significant or just mildly significant. Good. And so at this moment, yeah, it's this idea that they're not going to take that chance, not going to take the risk of something happening. Now, some of you may know, but I mean, again, those of you who can recall from year 9, but there's quite a few of you in the room now who weren't here, and quite a few of you may well have forgotten. Do you want to stab a guess at what we think might potentially happen in this story? What's the writer, what's the author already very handily set up at the beginning of this story?
An alternative reality?
Right, yeah, now go with that, an alternative reality. What kind of alternative reality could we possibly have, George?
A very negative.
A very negative. Now, is there a character that we've come across so far that might produce a very negative alternative reality?
Eccles.
Deutsche.
Deutsche. Remember what did Deutsche stand for when he was running for the presidency?
Everything.
Anti-human.
Everything anti-human, anti-intellectual. Yeah. Antichrist. Yeah. It's, yeah, all of these things. So might be, yeah, if we think about our alternative reality, that in that alternative reality it'll be a case that he wins the election, not President Keith, the one that they're all thankful for. And then it's about the repercussions. But how could that be brought about? What do we think could possibly happen in this prehistoric landscape to bring such an event around?
He could step on a piece of grass.
Right?
It's actually a bomb. Or
A
something.
piece of grass that is a bomb.
And that ends up blowing Keith.
Now,
Right. Yeah,
no, but how could we have a bomb in prehistoric world?
He could step on a piece of grass.
But he could, I mean, go with what you...
It kills a worm, which means the birds die out, which means...
Yeah, no, it's just all those kind of, again, I just put another way to think about it is that, you know, sort of domino effect, isn't it? If you just push one domino, all the others sort of fall into place and everything goes round, and you just, he's not a domino, he's a human.
Turns out
I've not changed the lead.
Dominoes there.
But it's this idea, yeah, and it can go on and change things until eventually you have it that the outcome of the election is changed, and you then have this sort of
Like a reality when North Korea bombed America.
Mate, you don't know if that's still not going to happen.
Are you alright?
There's a few.
That's already happened.
There's a few that. Well, I mean, again, those of you, I don't know if any of you watched it on. Can't remember what it is. I think it's Amazon. You know, again, there's that Philip K. Dick There's Man in the High Castle. It's the exact same idea, isn't it? It's the idea that the Nazis actually do win the Second World War, and it's like America is split between the Nazis and the Japanese, isn't it? And there's that little bit in the middle, which is the neutral zone.
Knee-deep in strudel.
Knee-deep in strudel. Okay. But again, that's what that all works out, isn't it? About again, it's those two sort of alternative realities playing alongside each other. One where the Allies are victorious, and one where they are defeated. You know, which it was meant to be brought about, isn't it? Because it was all that race for getting the heavy water and the atomic bomb and all that sort of stuff. And it's the one that they just lose out on. So yeah, no, it shows you it's a well-worn path that science fiction writers go down here, and just sort of thinking about actions, consequences, and how we as human beings might develop in different ways. Good. You all right there, George? Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Just sorting yourself out there?
Just sorting out
His phone.
His phone?
phone, yeah.
You know, that could be important.
It might be.
If I didn't charge this first, God knows where it's coming.
Well, sadly, we are romping round towards the end of the lesson, George. So you're not getting much time to charge it, are you?
It's a portal to
Sorry?
It's a portal to
Right. So tomorrow we're going to come across. Tomorrow we'll come across. How do you think? Excuse me. How do you think Eccles is going to behave when he's confronted with a real live Tyrannosaurus Rex?
He might freeze.
Do you think he might freeze?
He
Yeah.
does freeze, actually.
Yeah. He does more than freeze.
I don't know that because I'm on Reddit.
Yeah. Shh.
What?
Sorry?
Can't some people even try to.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we get it, and remember, we've had that idea as well, but it's been kind of set up again by the writer, because it's about that idea of having those sort of real sort of hunter mentality. And it's just been, you imagine being confronted by a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, you think now, oh yeah, I'm shoot it.
Shoot it.
There are definitely scarier things.
Such as?
Well, a lot of the dinosaurs that are underwater are far scarier.
How do you know this?
Then we're going those.
I feel water is scary, so you can't see.
I think it was called Procephalodon or something.
A Mosasaurus.
A Mosasaurus, that was one.
That's in Jurassic
Yeah, I
World.
know, I was thinking like it.
Yeah, that's one. But there's one with like a really long neck, it's like a brontosaurus. Underwater.
I know what you're on about. It's like a hard shell.
Maybe one.